How's it, everybody? Welcome back to the Nomasburg region. I thought I'd kick things off today by giving you all an update on some expansions that have happened since we were last here. As you know, I live stream on Twitch, and we use that time to expand the region from time to time. Once in a while, though, we will build something bigger than just a small expansion. And this was one of those cases. So today, we're going to take a look at everything we've been doing in the live streams over the last, month or so before we get back into the regular build videos. Now, the first area that saw an expansion was the fishing docks. Around here, when we left off, we had these industries that end towards the right there, as well as the ferry terminal and ferry depot over by the river. We took the time to fill out this entire space with industrial extensions, so just some generic industry, and then all the way over by the ferry terminal and the ferry depot, we built some custom parking. Now this was achieved using the raisable parking assets, if I remember right, coupled with some ploppable asphalts to create that elevation. Now it looks very empty now, but I'm hoping once the area around it gets developed further, we should see a lot more cars and the like starting to park there. Now over on the other side, where the rail yard meets the river, I've always wanted to extend this industry and create a sort of blend zone into the residential areas that are going to line this river. So to the right of that road cutting through the landscape, we extended the industry and created an oldish residential space using King Leno's assets from the University City Pack, I believe. I might get that wrong. On the other side, to the left of the road, we've got the European Suburbia assets by Avania, which serves as the start of the residential areas. Now across that avenue to the left, that's where we're going to be building a bit later on in this episode. Finally, we have the cave area. Now when this was built, I had a suggestion from one of the members of my Discord server by the name of Xerox, who suggested that since this is a tourist attraction spot, somebody would have developed something in the area to take advantage of it. So we decided to tackle a construction in and around this area to try and reflect that. So what we ended up doing was building this mini resort type thing with a whole lot of walking trails that went all the way around the actual caving system. Wedged between the river and the mountain to the right, I've got this meandering footpath that goes all the way up to the top of the cave and then around to where the mini resort is. There are a couple of campsites and tents littered around there just for people who are chilling and just enjoying nature. Now over at the top of the caving system, we've got all these cabins in the middle of all of these trees with a nice tall lookout point. Just below that, we've got a couple of tents just having people chilling and enjoying the views. And then this also gives you a nice view into the accommodation space of this mini resort, I guess, with a swimming pool, a couple of tennis courts, and its beautiful manicured lawns. So that is everything that we've built in the live stream since we were last in Nomasburg. So we've all caught up now. Let's jump into a time-lapse build where we will expand on that residential area just leading off of the industrial space that I showed you just a minute or two ago. You know, I almost didn't do this regular Nomasburg intro with a title, but the music just lined up so perfectly with the commentary I was doing earlier that I just had to leave it in and go for it. But anyway, everybody, welcome to the time-lapse build of this video. Now, if you notice, I have built out quite a lot of roads in this area. So my initial plan was to try and fill out this entire space with some residential developments that is basically going to sit here. But I had to change those plans because I'm not sure if you know, but I am participating in the global collaboration project that is being run by Paradox. They announced it sometime last week, and this is my week to actually work on the project. So I had to change my timelines very quickly. I had barely started recording this video when I got the message that I am on this week, and so I had to scale back on how much I could build for this episode and decided to concentrate my efforts on just this area that is currently in view. We will then have another episode. Well, between the episodes and the live streams, we will fill out the rest of this entire place. Now, if you noticed how all those hedges popped in, I didn't actually put those in. Those are there. They're part of the detailing that I believe Avanya has done with all of these assets. All I did was turn on ULOT because the LOD settings for these breakwater rocks that I have at the bottom of the screen, the ones that actually touch the water, is this weird gray odd thing that I'm not a very big fan of. So as long as I'm not looking at the whole city, when I'm building from, I suppose, this vantage point over a very small area, I tend to enable ULOT just so that everything looks crisper. But if I was building, from a higher angle where more things showed, then I would keep the ULOT off. But just the LOD for that it's not my favorite. Anyways, so this is the continuation of the residential areas just off to the right there, and this style of housing is going to sit all the way along this river. At least that's the plan. But what I do want to do is between the road that is nearest to the river and the river itself, I want to put in a couple of houses that have boats and things like that. So I want it to be slightly upmarket, though not very. It's not going to be like the big mansions that we built way back in, episode 19, but it's just a couple of slightly bigger lots that have boat docks and so on. Now, building that sort of stuff is generally very finicky, and it's something that will be very hard to do from this vantage point. So I'm thinking of doing that in a live stream, probably this weekend. Well, as the video is releasing tomorrow, but we'll see. One of the things that I want to do with my videos going forward is try and see if I can go back and forth between Nomasburg and City of Tando more regularly, instead of waiting every 10 episodes before I jump, because the progress being made on each city or each project is not as much as I would like it to be. And I've been working on these two projects now for quite a while, right? I think I started Nomasburg in 2020 and City of Tando way back in 2019. I think it's time that I bring them to an end. But it's not to say that I'm just going to stop. I really want to fill the maps with what my intended goal was when I first started. So we're gonna try and make use of the live streams a bit more to achieve more, so that we can try and finish these projects sooner rather than later. I haven't really talked much about this build, but this is a very small build. The idea is we just have the residential space here. We've got a small little park just behind the houses here that the local residents can go to and chill. I just thought I would put a little fireplace there because it's different. It's not something that I often put in the backyards of houses like this, so I thought I would just have that here, something different. Have this path or this quay that still goes all the way around the river, but it will come to an end at that point where we start building those houses that will have their boats. And then of course in this area, just a small little commercial space along the avenue to service these residential areas that we're going to have. And that's about it. I just didn't want to have another episode where it's just me talking and there's no actual building happening. So I thought I'll try and at least squeeze something in so that it's not just a talking video, I suppose. So that's it. Hopefully the next one will be able to get a whole lot more done. And yeah, I hope you enjoy this. And I'll catch you all in the next one. Just a thing, I noticed that since the release of plazas and promenades, all these houses are starting to upgrade, and as a result of that we like doubled our population in a very short space of time, or at least we got a lot of population going. I don't know why all of a sudden it looks like it's gone back down. Across zone I saw 45. Oh, you know what, I got myself confused. It was money that I was looking at. Okay, the population is not that bad. I think it's grown by a couple of thousands, which I'm still happy with. I'm glad to see the population slowly rising because my shops were crying for workers. But yeah, that's it. I want to say thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I want to send a special shout out. Thanks so much to everybody who's supporting the channel via Patreon. I really, really, really appreciate it. Thank you all so much. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Leave a comment, right? Jump on the Discord server, and yeah, who knows, one of your builds might just feature in Nomasburg. Take care everybody, and I will catch you all in the next one. Cheers.